What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Kai, and I am coming today to talk to you guys a little bit about the uncover of the cover-up. Okay, we have got so many videos out here pinpointing stuff and bringing things out, which is really good, but we've gotten lost at where we are going with this. Okay, we've put out so much stuff that right now the storyline is just crazy insane. So I thought that I would come here today and break it down, giving you guys the reason why I personally feel that this was covered up and Keneeka Jenkins was actually murdered and this was not an accident. Okay, I'm going to give you the timelines of where we are at this point, and I want to break down some of the things that are going on, and then I'm going to tell you guys why, during the explanation as to why I feel that this is not a mistake or accident. Okay, so we're going to first start off with the police report. Okay, if you are a part of this movement of justice for Keneeka, you must read the police report. The reason why is because it's very vital for us to be able to uncover things. So first and foremost, the police report is very inconsistent as far as stories, as far as the police doing what they said that they did and didn't do, as far as the hotel manager and the time frames go. So you must read the police report in order for you to really understand. But I'm going to point out some of the points that you must know if you don't have the time to take the time out to read the police report. So I'm going to start off with the police report. Now, there are 3 videos that I'm going to link in my description box below that you need to watch, and I'm going to place them there in different orders, but you just need to watch all 3 of the videos in order for you to understand why and where I'm coming from. Now, I'm referencing from these videos because these are the most valid videos out, where there has timestamps available for you to see, dates available for you to see, and also the complete police report. Okay, so first thing first, let's talk about this report. Okay, so the first officer on scene, he comes to the hotel because he claims that he went to the hotel to basically talk to Lenora regarding the police report, which is not true. Okay, remember, Teresa Martin in her interview stated that the officer told her that he would not be able to come up there, that they would have to go to him. Okay, and that's what Lenora did. She went to the police station and made the police report. Now, he then came to the hotel after that, claiming that he was coming there because he was trying to look and review the footage. However, he only came up there because he needed to get the signature from Lenora for the police report, for the missing person report. But he never stated that that he had to receive that. It just basically said the police report was made and scanned and put in the system. Then he made it seem as if he then showed up to the hotel because he was concerned and he needed to do his job, and went to look at the surveillance. He's like, the hotel manager that was there, she assisted him in looking at the footage as if he wanted to personally go watch the footage. But remind you, they asked him to go look at the footage, and he didn't want to go look at that footage at the time. They asked him if he could just go look and see when was the last time Keneeka Jenkins was seen on camera. Now, mind you, at this point, there's a missing person report that has already been created, and this missing person report does indicate the time frames as when Keneeka left their house, the last time Lenora talked to Keneeka, and the time frame that her friends came back to the house with the vehicle. So he has right now 3 timestamps in which he can narrow down where he needs to be looking for Keneeka, the time frame. But he said that there were dozens of cameras, and no, this is what he said. He said the hotel manager assisted him in reviewing some footage of the night that Keneeka went missing. Now, mind you, Keneeka was at the hotel at 1:30. She was still at the hotel because this is what has been indicated by Lenora. She was at the hotel at 1:30. So you wouldn't think that he's only going to look at the time frame in which October 8th started when Keneeka left the house. He's going to look a little bit further that night, and then go as far as to when the friends actually left the hotel. Okay, so he said he watched the footage. They let him watch the footage, and he watched the footage of I'm gonna read it. Okay. He says, I was able to speak with the general manager of Crown Plaza, blank. Blank assisted me with viewing available surveillance videos of the hotel, included entries and exit ways of the hotel. Okay? Listen to what he's saying. He watched the footage with the general manager of entries and exits of the hotel. Now, one entry is an exit as well. Just common sense, right? So one entry is of the hotel in the lobby. Okay, you enter into that, and when you enter into the hotel, that considers the entry. When you exit out of the hotel of the same door in the same lobby, that's the exit. You know, that's how you exit, all right? So he said he watched the footage of the entry and the exit and did not locate Jenkins on any of the footage. He said, I was unable to locate the victim through surveillance at this time, and I was advised that occupants of room 926 had already checked out, and the room service had already cleaned the room. Staff had no suspicious activities reported or any additional information available at this time. All right. So he claims that basically nobody has reported anything suspicious going on in the hotel that night. Nobody has reported that there was anything suspicious in the room that they found while cleaning it. Nobody has reported anything about this room, and it's already clean. So I can't go up here now. That's what he's saying. It's already been cleaned out, and I can't go check this room. You hear me? What I'm saying? So he then later got a call to come back to the hotel because basically Lenora was knocking on door to door trying to find Keneeka. Okay, so he came back up there to see that it was her, right? And so he told her that they looked at the footage and Keneeka was basically not there. She was not on camera at that time. Now, ask yourself this question. If he reviewed the cameras and Keneeka he never seen Keneeka come in or out of the hotel, right? What would he have done next? You get what I'm saying? What would he have possibly done next? Because at this point, the footage proves that she was never at the hotel. So now they're no longer looking as her being a missing person at this hotel. So where could she have gone missing? And what time frame and all this shit would she have gone missing? So you got to ask yourself, at this point, she's not on the camera, he's not seeing it. So next is going to be what? Where are you going? Are you not going to investigate it because she's not where people said she was? Or are you going to start asking the friends, where were y'all at? What neighborhood y'all live in? All of this stuff. Where were you going to go with this? Because she clearly was not on the camera. However, I personally feel, and I'm going to break it down why, that Keneeka Jenkins today would still be a missing person. And I basically feel like they would have never looked further into the hotel as far as her disappearing. Okay? I feel like Keneeka Jenkins her body was never intended to be found. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. The reason why I say this is because he stated that he looked at the entries and the exits of the hotel, and she was not on the camera. Only when Lenora said, basically, that's impossible because Keneeka Jenkins and her friends have Snapchats showing them in the hotel. One particular was on Keneeka Jenkins' Snapchat of her in the bathroom with Monifa. Okay? So only when they said that did they say, oh shit, now we have to look for her body. Now we have to have a body, because we've already told them that we didn't see her coming or leaving. But they know that she did come now, because she has the video showing that she actually did come to the hotel. So at this point, now they have to discover a body, or now they have to do an active investigation and search inside of the actual hotel. All right. So when she said Keneeka has a video on Snapchat showing this, then he said, initially, we did not catch Keneeka entering or exiting the building. However, the general manager stated that there was one more camera that could have possibly captured her. So, from the get, there were only 2 cameras that was recorded of entries and exits. There's only 2 cameras. Though there are dozens of exits and entries of the hotel, there's only 2 that have surveillance. So ask yourself, if you didn't see her come in through the lobby, why did you not originally check to see if she came in through the other entry of the hotel that has surveillance? Why did you not originally check that? Why did you sum it up and chalk it up as she was never there? You know, as if she never came in or left. Instead of looking at the second camera, because it's not dozens. They're not dozens of entries, because in the police report, you stated that the manager said that there is only one more entry and exit point that could have caught Keneeka on surveillance. So my question is, why did the manager never, address that from the beginning? Why did they not say, well, here at this time, that we don't see her. This is this exit, but we're going to check the other entry and exit point, which is only another one. There's not dozens, there's only 2. So you didn't take the time to even check out the other entry to see if she came in. Only when Lenora stated that she had to have been here because she has a video proving it, is when you guys decided to think that y'all have to check another entry, because she has to have come in here. Okay? So now it's like, holy shit, we gotta find a body. Okay? Now, we got that point of that officer, right? So now he's like, okay, we captured her coming in or whatever of the hotel. Boom. Report number 2, I'm not sure if this is the same officer or if this is a different officer, but this officer came and talked to the parents, talked to the family or whatever, basically giving them the same information that was provided on the police report. The missing person report. And he and his fellow officers decided later on that day for them to the first officer basically said, keep watching the surveillance. Okay, telling the hotel manager, keep watching the surveillance until you see something else, and when you do, contact us to let us know. Rather than saying, okay, we spotted Keneeka on camera, so now we have the right to subpoena the records because she's missing at this point. So now we have the legal right to subpoena these records, the footage of the hotel, and take it for analyzing. But that never happened. You have the hotel staff watching the videos and the footages of Keneeka, rather than subpoenaing these records and getting them to an analyst who actually gets paid to watch this type of stuff or analyze this type of shit, and who specializes in pinpointing certain things. You decide to just have the manager do it. That don't make no sense. All right. But okay, we just gonna say whatever, chomp that up to he just didn't have the authority at that moment to get the records. Okay. So now the other officer comes in. Now they know that Keneeka Jenkins was at this hotel. The new officer, he reports that he and a few other of his fellow officers went to the hotel, talked to the family, talked to the staff, and then they decided to go up to 926. Okay. So the first officer never went upstairs. Let's start here. Because of the fact that the house cleaning had already serviced the room and the occupants of that room had already left. So he never went upstairs. Now the second officer, him and his fellow partner, I guess, They decide they're gonna go upstairs to take a look, okay? But they didn't locate anything when they went to go take a look at 926. They didn't see anything suspicious. But at this point, they never checked to see if anybody in the rooms next door to them heard anything, saw anything at all. They never checked to see that originally. Only when somebody said they seen a struggle in the windows of, they think like the 13th floor, or like, I don't know if they said the, originally I think they said the 12th floor. They thought they saw some struggling on the 11th or the 12th floor. And so one of the officers gets the binoculars. The other officers, they go upstairs to try to locate the room in which they were seeing all of this stuff going on in, or whatever. So they go upstairs and they do that. They find out that it was the 13th floor, and it was just a party that some kids were attending. Some little kids were attending at a hotel party. Alright, so at this point, now this is later on in the day. This is like late at night, okay? This is not that late. It's like evening time now. So now, this point that, you know, they seen the struggling or whatever, then they decide. Now they're going to go and ask the occupants of 928 and 927 if they heard anything. Which basically wouldn't have made sense, because at this point they could have possibly left. You know what I mean? They could have already had left the hotel, and you would have never been able to get a statement from them. Why did that not happen the first time when Lenora reported the room 926 is where Keneeka Jenkins was at? When y'all seen her in this hotel room on her Snapchat, why did you not originally try and talk to those who were close to them? That, you know, that's just how, you know, logical thinking. If that's, you're doing an active investigation, the first thing you're going to do is try and check the people that are closest. Okay, so now they've got these statements, and they said that not the occupants in which they talked to were there the night that Keneeka Jenkins went missing, and they asked them about any suspicious activity, and both people said, no, we just heard people talking in the hallway, but nothing suspicious. All right, now let's rewind that. You and I both know that that's not true, because who called security to the room for disturbing the peace? It had to be those two rooms or somebody underneath them. It had to be. So who called for, you know, the security to come up there? Now, did they not really call to have the security come up there, and the security guard went up there to just scope out the scene to see how many people was there and who they could, you know, what they were in there doing, so he could see if he could capture somebody in there? Or did he really get a call for disturbing the peace? Now, here's the thing. When he gets this call, now we're confused as to who called the manager for coming up to the room now, because clearly it wasn't the two neighbors, right? But it's no reports from the staff either that there was any type of suspicious activity going on. But there should have been. Why? Because the staff came to the room, and not only when he got there were the kids turned up, he knew that they were smoking marijuana and drinking. He knew it because he told the kids to put the towel under the door to stop the smell from seeping through the door. So he told them to put a towel to seal the opening so that the smell wouldn't come out the room. So you right now, and this is what one of the kids said in their interview, one of the guys said in his interview, that he was confused as to why did the man tell them to just put the towel in there, because usually at that point you would have put them out the hotel. Even they were confused. They were like, you know, he cool as fuck, he ain't put us out. So even they were confused as to why, you know, they did not call the police, or they did not want them, you know, want to put them out. So we know that somebody called, but who was it? They called for the disturbing the peace. And we know that the security guards came to that room, but why is it that they never told the police that they were called to 926 for disturbing the peace? Now, you ain't got to admit anything else. Simply just admit that yes, there was a call because of the fact that they were disturbing the peace in his room, and or they were partying, and the kids they seemed like they were drinking and everything like that, but I never really went all the way in the room to see, or I didn't smell anything or whatever. But if this is now a missing persons report for the same room that you were called to the night before to because of they were too loud, I'm confused at this point why you have not notated that to the police, or relayed that information to the police. Why did you not give it to the police? In fact, it wasn't even reported.